I am Mrs. Culver. I'm the gifted resource teacher at SeaTac, and we have...
Hi, I'm Mrs. Emmons, formerly Miss Bianchi. I'm an assistant principal at Lynn Haven Elementary.
And we are back together, the dynamic duo, yay, Lynn Haven, SeaTac, and we are going to embark on this amazing oyster journey with Lynn Haven Elementary and SeaTac Elementary and Tupelo Dream Academy. We are here with Selena from Virginia Aquarium.
Hello, how's it going?
Selena's going to be our partner along with some of her other colleagues to help us with this wonderful partnership. So right now, the location we are at the Virginia Aquarium, and we are in Ouse Creek, which is SeaTac's watershed,
yes,
right? And so we are going to have our float. Let's go check out our float down here. We are going to be putting our baby oysters in the float. It does say SeaTac, but we are sharing it with Lynn Haven, our friends from Lynn Haven. And if we can look out to this beautiful piece of water called Ouse Creek, you see lots of beautiful clouds today, beautiful water. The temperature is, what did I say, Miss Emmons?
72.
72 degrees
Fahrenheit.
Yes.
And this waterway feeds into Lake Rudy, which then feeds into the Atlantic Ocean.
Absolutely. So you all will be working with your teachers on finding out all the good stuff about oysters and what they're great for. We are at SeaTac going to be measuring with the first grade and fourth graders and collecting some data points. So let's go check a look at our oysters.
They're very small.
Tiny.
So I think especially, Miss Culver, some of your fourth graders might remember how big they were at the end of the year last year.
So remember, we collected that data now that those fourth graders are in fifth graders,
yes,
and we took those, the average of them, and we found that they were 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches, and some up to 6 inches. They
Yes.
were nice.
So they start in this tiny little net because they're so small, and we're actually going to leave them in there this time so they don't fall out of our mesh net.
So if we were as scientists and we're observing them, I want you to look very closely, and I want you to think about what are some attributes that you can see. What do you notice? Color, size, shape. Very tiny. And can you tell us why the reef keepers told us to keep them in the net, the small green net?
We're gonna dump some of them if we think they're big enough. We'll try to put them in this mesh net that keeps them safe. But if they're falling out, we'll put them back in here. But she also said if we leave them in here, we would have to probably come in about a month because they grew up. They started growing in freshwater, brackish water, and our salinity here is much, much higher. So they're gonna grow a lot quicker. Now that we have this temperature, we've had warm weather here, and there's the high salt content. So they are just going to thrive here. They also need to be protected from any other predators that might want to eat them. When we first got down here, we did see a couple different crabs and fish, and there's just a lot of things that would like to eat it, maybe birds, so they need to be in the net here. They are also very light in color this year. Every year they look a little bit different. And so we'll have to see what they look like, and if they grow fat, if they grow skinny, long, we'll have to observe them that way. And then we will check on them. See, this guy's already falling out of here, he's so little. We will have to check on them throughout the year to see their growth. And then, so if you want to see that's how tiny it is, it's like you wouldn't even notice that it was an oyster.
And so I was just looking at our date, part of our data. It's October 4th.
Yes.
So if we were to come back in a month, it would be November 4th, which is great timing.
Yes.
And we can come over here and transfer that. So we're going to look at some data before to get our baseline data, right,
Yes.
Miss Emmons?
Yes, and part of the main reason we grow them is for our oysters to replenish and restore their colonies. So they have to be close together because they like to colonize together. They actually stick to one another. And their job is to filter our water. So they clean our water. And a long time ago, there was a lot of disease and a lot of over-harvesting. And we basically depleted or used up all the oysters that we had, and our water got very, very dirty. So we have put in thousands of oysters each year in these reef sanctuaries. This is probably batch for us 16,000. 16,000 total. This little bag has 2,000 babies. So we are going to, or oyster spat. So we are going to go ahead and measure them to get that baseline information. And then we do, they are okay to be out of the water right now. They can be out for 48 hours total. We don't ever want to go beyond that because they are intertidal, meaning they can be in the water and out. So right now they're okay, but they're definitely ready to be back in the water.
So congratulations, you all are now the oyster parents that we are going to raise, nurture, collect data, and we are going to be on this journey together.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and measure. You have the ruler here we're going to use. I'm just going to do like what, 5 to 7 of them?
Yeah, so we'll just get a random sample. Miss Culver and I will do more. We tend to fill up this sheet, and then we end up turning this in to the Oyster Reef Keepers of Virginia, and they keep track for us of how well the oysters are growing, and they might say, you know, this location isn't best for them or it's great. And so far, obviously here in Owls Creek and at the aquarium, they have been thriving. So we have been able to stay here.
Now, kindergarten, first grade, we know you use like Unifix cubes and different things on non-standard measurement, but we're going to use for this purpose the millimeter,
yes,
the metric piece.
Because they're so small.
Yep, and we're going to just do 5 to 7 of them now, and then we'll go up to about 50.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm looking at...
Do you want to tell me and I'll write?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We're going to have 1 metric unit, 1 millimeter. Be very careful.
Yes,
they're like little pebbles.
So tiny and so thin.
Yes, so we don't want.
They're very thin, so they're almost like.
And it's amazing that
like
some people would
thin.
even think that these are a living thing.
Right. Now, Ms. Culver, do you remember how we can tell if they're dead already, which is sad, but how we can figure that out?
I know the children can remember.
I do too.
Oh,
yep, sorry. Talking and writing at the same time. So they're so tiny that they like to stick together, but unfortunately, and usually these guys, we won't see any of it. If they have died, they will be open. So we will have open shells. Now this one is not open. That's just 2 that are already colonizing. So that's what their goal is. They like to be together.
And Miss Evans, we know that colonizing means to be together.
Yes.
I'm wondering how we colonize as humans. All right. So we have, oh, you got a bunch.
I did.
Yeah.
They're still pretty much fun.
Yeah, they're all about the same for now. But don't worry, in about a month, you're going to see a huge
They're
difference.
about to blow away.
Yeah, we don't want them to blow away. They're all about the same.
Yeah, they should be. What would we say for these teeny tiny guys? These.
And half of one, so it'd be 5, right?
5.
Ooh. We're trying to be as...
Don't blow away, little friends.
1, 8, 10.
Sorry, we've measured in centimeters, millimeters. We've done a bunch of different versions, so. And then we're measuring at the hinge.
Yep. It's hard to see the hinge when they're this small, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, this one's about a half of that.
Yes, and then if we can see, so this is what they end up being usually around 40 to 50 millimeters by the time they're done growing, which is usually in June. So if you can see, they start like this, and usually when we take them out of the water, they're all the way out to here. So they definitely grow really quickly. And we'll have to see what this weather does this year, because if it's a mild winter, meaning we don't get a bunch of snow, and it's not there's not a lot of freezing happening, they will continue to grow well. Now, if it does get very, very cold, we have lots of snow, lots of freezing temperatures, they will basically go dormant. So they don't really hibernate and they don't die, but they do go dormant and grow very, very slowly.
So we're looking at the temperature, we're looking at also the human impact.
Yes.
And we will talk about that